We absolutely love you, Abraham.
That's clear to us. That's clear to us.
And more importantly, our beloved Esther.
Well, nothing is more important than Abraham. Oh, we're just playing with you.
Yeah,
We're just playing.
get it.
You know, we're all in this
get it.
together, and it's not possible to define which part of this cadre of co-creation matters most, you see. Esther would say, it is you that matters most, because without your willingness to come here and sit in this chair and present, there's nothing that is moving forward. And so hers and our appreciation is to you.
Well, we feel it, we live it, we experience things. When Jerry transitioned,
Croaked. That's Jerry.
I heard
Can you see him? If you're looking, can you see energy?
it. Oh, yes.
Esther can feel him all around, all around.
Well,
And friends who see energy are sending her lots of messages that he's standing right about here. Can you see him? Can you?
feeling.
Keep your eyes open.
So the first 3 days after we heard about it, I really consternated over his passing because he was so beloved to us as well.
Well, don't use him in the past tense. It irritates him.
Well, Jerry,
Nothing irritates him, but
I'm
we're playing with you. There's nothing past tense about Jerry.
Yes.
He was doesn't apply. He is does.
Yes. And as he plays with you, as we've heard, of
Current
turning
tense.
the lights on
Yes.
and off, and as I got into my pickup truck, all of a sudden, for some reason, a chime came exactly like the little dingy thing we have that brings us back. The exact tone, the exact frequency, and the exact duration of wonderful flowing sound. And I smiled and I said, "Thank you, Jerry."
Oh, he'll play with you in any way you can conjure.
And it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just awesome.
Yeah.
And I have a question about this. If Jerry knew what he knows now before he transitioned.
Oh, he knew a fraction of what he knows now before he transitioned.
Okay. If he knew it, would he have left then, or would he have
Sooner.
stayed?
Much sooner. Much sooner.
I kind of get that. It's just so clear to me. I was very involved as an active Mormon for 39 years, and it was my life. It was my focus. It was my truth and joy. I felt the Spirit. I felt the energy and all of these wonderful things. But then when I found Seth and I found you, my focus changed. And it was like, and I heard that Jerry said this once, if I was on a train going 90 miles an hour or whatever, and I saw truth coming the other way, I would change cars in mid-jump across to the other track. And that's what I did. And my life has unfolded in...
It's not quite as dramatic as that.
Well, it was with me.
Well, in the sense that if you did not have some vibrational readiness, law of attraction would not have brought you there. And
Right.
How can you disconnect from everything that you were living that brought you to that readiness?
It wasn't. It was a transition. It was the next logical step.
Next logical step. So all you did was get off the train at the station and catch another one going in a slightly different direction. And about 100 times faster.
Thank you. I actually needed to hear that. And
Because you can't embrace your new knowledge and push against your old knowledge at the same
No,
time.
you can't. Wow. I just love hearing that. And I know that the energy that we all feel here is so powerful. And we so appreciate Esther's ability to translate and to put in her personality and wit and intellect into the truths that we're hearing through Abraham. It's just fun to play with you.
Esther is enjoying her long-standing ability to relax into that clarity and allow it to flow. And it's especially poignant to her now because it's easy for her to hear Jerry as well. Not when she's missing him. So in the missing moments, she just puts her requests in, and the allowing moments, he just pops into her experience in amusing and delightful and always meaningful ways. There is no separation between what is physical and non-physical other than what you apply through your perspective, you see. And the thing about what you call the death experience that is so hindering to you is that you are trained to view manifestations. And manifestations are the evidence that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. And as you begin taking greater and greater satisfaction in the core vibration that is at the basis of all of those manifestations, your life becomes so much richer, you see. It's the emotional basis. The reason that you want manifestations is so that you can have an emotional response to it.
Yes.
But when you figure out how to get the emotional response ahead of the manifestation, now life's good in all of its rich unfolding, you see.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The wealth, the enjoyment of our properties, all of the trips we take, all of the joy, the laughing. We actually have a house under construction, and we've had the construction workers triple insulate our master suite because we laugh so hard. I mean, we laugh over every belly laugh.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to let that out.
Yeah. Other things, of course, with Gigi, she's just a wild woman. But the playfulness we're experiencing with Esther now, and we so enjoyed the comment on the last CD that came where Abraham said Esther has figured out she was the chatterbox, where Jerry was the ponder and listened. But I'm in that same thing opposite. I'm the chatterbox. And Gigi just sits there and comments. And for a long time, I was thinking, boy, she's a good conversationalist. She's just awesome. Well, I was just chattering away, and she would bring in her wisdom. And about a year ago, I experienced one of the Esther moments where I actually stomped my foot. And you're going to have to edit this. A lot of contrast was happening, and she comes up with her smile and said, "You know you created this." And I said, "Bullshit. I did not create this effing thing, and I know I didn't." And then, boom.
Because I would not create something I do not want.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. And I came to a screeching
You need more
halt.
insulation in that room.
Yes, I did. I was telling the workers just that. I mean, we've actually had some sound tests. But it was the reality of hearing all the tapes and experiencing this, and I actually heard myself saying that. What's up with that?
What's up with that is that the more you expand, the more uncomfortable it is in any moment that you're not allowing the expansion. And the last moment in time that you want someone to point out to you that you create your own reality is when you're standing in rigid deprivation and personal isolation from something that you really want. That's not the time to hear that, because all of you are having some of these experiences. It's a normal thing. But we want to say to you that, you know how we've been talking about, you get this vibrational pattern going on, and it doesn't matter how it got there. It doesn't matter what you were observing. And there was clearly some unfinished business going on that was at the basis of it. Otherwise, it couldn't have gathered so much momentum so fast. But when the grid, a wanted grid or an unwanted grid, begins filling in with the details, there's momentum that is occurring. And as that momentum is occurring, that's not the time to stop and analyze. It's not the time to try to do anything about it. And it's really not the time, we love you all very much, to try to tell someone else that they're on the right track, because their train will run right over you.
Oh, I've learned that.
But after you've had the experience of that and experienced the discord of it, once you settle down a little bit, that's the time to begin deliberately creating a new grid. We want to talk about that here and now. Did you get the sense of what we were talking about the core of who you are, radiating a beam outward, and that when you click in with it, your leverage is enormous? And so what you are thinking about in any moment of time is causing you to activate a grid. So if you activate a grid that matches this core grid, then law of attraction brings them together. They just lock right into place, and off you go. So you've got this core energy shooting up, if you will, through the lens of the specifics that life has caused you to add to it. Don't you love that?
Yes.
It's like you get to choose all of the details that are important to you, and when they're in alignment with the power, that's what that leverage is, you see. But when you choose a detail, and here's this core energy of all this love and appreciation and worthiness going on, and you're focused upon the absence of something that you want, when you try to bring that in, it just bounces off. It can't get in because there's discord. And if you're standing over there with it, not in here with who you really are, we understand why you would have a sort of meltdown over it. We understand why. Because someone say, it's not that important, and we say, yes, it is that important.
At that moment.
It's the details of why you're feeling that way aren't important because they can be ironed out.
Right.
But the moment of deprivation of the very life force that is yours is something worth screaming about a little bit. So scream, but don't keep screaming. Take a nap. The reason that we teach meditation is because when you meditate and quiet your mind, you go right back to that core energy. That's the power of meditation. It will line you up with the energy of your core. But you can't meditate all day. You want to get out there and mix it up with the details of your life and your work. What you're really wanting to do is take each little piece of things that are important to you and train yourself into vibrational alignment with that core, and piece by piece just bring them in until you are a vibrational, eternally based energy stream to be reckoned with. In other words, no one can buck your current. So the primary message that we're wanting to give, and we appreciate your willingness to expose yourself in the process, is don't try so hard when you're out of whack, because it just makes you more out of whack. It just adds more energy to that grid that is not serving you. That's the time to pet the cat, to put your feet in the water, to get in the hot tub, to take a nap, to meditate. It's the time to do everything and anything you can to distract yourself. Esther's been noticing now that she's got Jerry integrated into her mind, integrated into some of her emotions, integrated into her skin at times. Many thoughts and ideas are flowing through her that she knows are not her own. They're coming from that broader perspective, from someone who is intimately interested in what's going on here, who has access to this vortex, this open vortex. And sometimes, as Esther is feeling, she'll be in the middle of something that has the potential of taking her off in the direction that is not going to serve her, and suddenly she will feel her mind clear, and she will have the most distracting thought that is off the subject, and she knows it's Jerry wanting to distract her. He's playing a game with her in the car where, when he really needs her attention, the information panel goes ding 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 ding, and she looks down and it says hood open. But the hood is not open.
But she's driving
The hood is never open.
It's a wrecked car. She's driving a wrecked car. She got to fix that thing.
It's Jerry letting her know that she wants to be open. It's the closest thing to writing on her computer screen that he's accomplished so far. Hood open. And she laughs. She sees it. She knows. She says, I know. Leave me alone. You're dead. Because she doesn't like him telling her any more than you like her telling you. Nobody wants to hear it in the middle of that, do you?
In this grid, you've mentioned that you have to really be a deliberate, focused creator of this feeling because
it's subtle.
The level
because it's subtle. Manifestations are obvious. That's why you want manifestations. Energy is subtle. Esther wants Jerry to walk in the room, sit in the chair, and smile at her because she so loves that.
Yes.
Well, he's not walking in the room and sitting in the chair and smiling at her, but he's loving her. He's offering the energy. But she has to be in the vibrational place to receive it. And so the word she uses, oh man, this is really a subtle relationship we got going on here. It's really subtle, which means she's got to tune to it. She's got to be in the frequency. She's got to be in the high-flying, good-feeling frequency, or she can't find it, you see. And we say, once you click into this grid, it's not close to subtle.